If you want to be a jockey, you have to go to a specialized school. To get in, there are a number of exams you must pass, not only written, but also physical. If you fail to pass these, then you cannot enter. Just to get through the first phase is quite a feat, so I'm sure people understand the physical and emotional toll it takes to become a jockey. When I think back on it, I'm amazed that I was able to get in. I'm Shiro Kirishima, and that was on my mind as I stared out the window. The jockey school is located outside the city. Obviously, there's a need for adequate space, what with the horses and space needed for practice purposes. As a result, I'm not able to have a normal high school life, and in addition, it's a boarding school. Oh boy, I'm knackered. It's been 2 years since I started here. I tried so hard to get into the school, but with the lack of any entertainment, I was just about to break.
Hey, are you still loafing around?
As I sat there with my head down on my desk, I heard this sighing voice behind me. She had this longish light brown hair and amber-colored eyes. She was a very pretty girl, but has this innocence about her. We're starting to see some female jockeys, but the school is made up mostly of guys. What's more, she's quite the looker and attracts a lot of attention from the guys. Like a chandelier in a banquet hall. I can't help it. I'm blushed.
You're always like this, loafing around. You need some major motivation.
Karin Toyama approaches and plops down beside me. Motivation? I'm the one riding the horse, and not the carrot leading the horse.
Whoever said I would give you a prize if you try hard? I'm just saying you should be consistently motivated, that's all.
She just sighed. If she's so offended, why does she stick around? I mean, this place is mostly guys, and she's a good-looking girl. She would have no problem attracting admirers. Get motivated, huh? I just can't get all pumped up, so what am I supposed to do?
And you wanted to be a jockey with that attitude?
Well, don't want to say it, but the main reason was money.
Then just don't say it then.
Or maybe if a cute girl appears and calls me Mr. Trainer.
That would only happen in game. Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, that game. Seemed kinda interesting, but I just couldn't understand the appeal. You're just not putting enough effort into it. I mean, there's no trainer character in it. And how can a horse be so cute?
Stop! Don't you dare go any further! Reality is really extreme. Even if this reality is based on fact, when you get into this world, reality really hits you in the face.
What's that trainer's position in the game? It's clear that he's not a jockey.
Yeah, I guess. It's not some surreal image like someone riding a girl holding a whip or something like that.
Oh, maybe he's an instructor or something. I think an instructor is a little different. Oh, the teacher is here.
As we talked, the teacher entered the room. Karin immediately stopped talking and pulled her books out from under the desk. Oh, well, maybe I'll take a nap. The vocational school I go to also allows me to get credit for high school, so I get a high school diploma as well as becoming a professional jockey. To become a jockey, you have to live and study here. But if I opt not to live here, it's not as if I would become a junior high dropout. Which means no boarding school will not equal game over.
But how can you be so stupid to nap during classes?
As we were grooming the horses, that's what she was saying. You do realize that we get up pretty early in the morning.
Of course. I get up at the same time as you.
That is precisely why we must adjust ourselves accordingly. Ah! Help, Charlester! She's bullying me! I was so pressured by Karen that I instinctively clung to the stable horse named Charlester. I don't do much grooming, but this mane is really beautiful. I bet this horse is going to be really great one of these days.
I can't believe that you wanted to be a jockey with that attitude.
Hate to say it, but it's all for the moolah.
You keep saying that!
Another would probably be to meet a nice girl.
Come on, get back to reality! You are living a fairy tale!
But there may be someone like that, right? A girl who would do a winning live concert for me. You know, with the horse's ears and tail.
If you don't take this seriously, people are gonna turn against you. You do realize that there are people like me who are serious about becoming a jockey.
Yeah, well, I want to become a jockey too.
Well, it sure does not come through. You keep it up and people are gonna hate you for it.
I do feel that people shun me because I don't have much motivation. And that's probably why I don't have any friends. I do feel a bit apprehensive about it. I'm okay with it because at least you're friendly to me.
Yeah, well, I guess you're right, but maybe we should verify that right now.
Please don't abandon me. I don't want to be by myself.
Oh well, okay. For now, I will remain your friend.
Thanks. Hey, did you want to become a jockey because your father was also one?
Yes, I have a real dream unlike you, who's living in a fantasy.
My dream was to be called a trainer someday. Wonder if Charlester will see me that way one of these days.
I've been working hard studying since I was a kid, even watching my weight and diet. But regarding height, I could not control that.
Yeah, me too. Before applying for the exam, I was constantly dieting.
There are many who have worked their butts off, so you better get on the ball or you're gonna get scolded one of these days.
Yeah. I'll get motivated one of these days.
Oh boy, I'm not gonna pick up after you.
Someday, when you become a famous jockey, I'll boast about being your friend. Boy, I'm groggy.
Just because the instructor is not here, that's overdoing it, Shiro. How do you manage to stay on?
It seems my horse is not up to the task today. He wants me to take it slow today. Ain't that right, Charlester? Thanks for giving me a ride. With that, Charlester seems to respond with a cry. Horses really have feelings.
Oh well, do as you like.
With that, she took off down the track. Looking at her, she had good form. I looked around the riding field. I could see the other classmates warming up on their horses around me. There were some that were fixated on their training, and others would look over at me with what seemed like disdain. Are they just relaxing, or are they looking at me because I look like I'm loafing off? Well, whatever. Right, Charlester? Charlester nods and grunts as if in agreement. Now, if this was a young, cute girl, she would say something like, "You're so right, Shiro!" Charlester's kinda hard to pronounce. I just realized. The distance from the school to the boarding house is pretty far, so we have to take a shuttle bus.
You seem kinda sleepy.
Yeah, all the horse training.
You mean playing games?
Oh yeah, that reminds me. A time trial's coming up, right? Someone was talking about it this morning.
That was announced last week in class.
Oh boy. Better stay alert in class, or there's gonna be some misunderstanding.
Not saying that my comment was the end of it all. I'm always thinking of it.
The way she emphasizes always thinking concerns me.
I'm not so worried that you're not paying attention all the time, but you better snap out of it or it's gonna affect your grades. What's more, horse trainers are observing these sessions too, you know?
Got a tummy ache.
Here are some Tums to ease the pain.
Oh boy. Feels like I got nowhere to escape.
I'm so worried for you. Always loafing off. Wonder if you will manage to get good grades.
Wow. That's weird. Worried for me?
Of course I am. I mean, I am best friends with you.
Oh yeah?
If it's possible, I would like to someday graduate with you and race you.
I didn't expect such a cute girl to say something like that to me. Listening to her, I got kinda embarrassed. No problem. I mean, I'm a hotshot jockey after all.
Yeah, a hot shot at loafing off.
Saying I'm a hotshot jockey makes it feel like it's all over. Joking aside, I would like to someday be in a race with you, Corinne.
Yeah, right?
I mean, we're both training to be jockeys, and so a race would be like 2 top stars racing in the Kentucky Derby.
I'm just not envisioning that kind of dramatic scene.
Kinda get the feeling that she's watching anime.
If we do someday race against each other, I would probably win.
What? I wouldn't disrespect a hotshot jockey rider like myself.
Huh? Seems obvious. A loafer like you and a hardworking person like me? I would definitely come out on top!
Ouch! How could you say that? If I really give you my peace of mind, I would get booed like hell. But I suppose you gotta try. I could give a good retort to her challenge, so I just sort of whispered, I'm a hotshot jockey after all, or something to that effect. With that, Corinne seemed to smile, ever so slightly.
Yeah, and if, as you say, you were a hotshot jockey,
Then what?
I'll be your girlfriend.
Huh? Things turned out kinda weird. With this time trial coming up, and me saying that I'm a hotshot jockey, I kinda backed myself into a corner, and I couldn't back down. Not really sure how a hotshot jockey is supposed to be measured. So, I just left it to Corinne to decide. Boy, how did it work out this way, huh? Star? I think she's just kidding around. Her name was too long, so I decided on Star. As I thought about my predicament, I fed Star the smelly feed. I was planning on just giving it my best on that day. But if I really do well, there's a possibility of me actually dating Corinne. Well, it wouldn't be all that bad dating such a cute girl. The problem is she really serious? I suppose she's just kidding. Hey! A group of my classmates approached. Kinda unusual because they usually just glare at me from afar. But now they were here talking to me directly. What's up? Heard you're gonna be dating Corinne! Guess he's partially right. Wonder where he heard this little tidbit from. No, not true. But someone heard it's true! Just a rumor. Not some game, bud. Check out the facts before confronting someone. Is this guy just spreading the rumor left and right? At that moment, Corinne's cute smile popped into my head. She seemed to be satisfied that she got me motivated. Oh boy. Thanks for putting me in this position. What is this anyway? So I just jokingly brag about being a hotshot jockey and I get this?
Huh?
Huh? That's my line. You, a hotshot jockey? Give me a break! This guy's usually a jerk, but that's pretty disrespectful for sure. Are you sure you're gonna be able to ride to the very end? I have my doubts. Right, guys? What a bunch of jerks! Well, if that's the case, no worries about the little dweeb dating Corinne. Well, that puts us at ease. Thought we were gonna lose our princess. Sorry to bother you, loser. The group said what they wanted and just sort of walked away, somehow satisfied by the encounter. Bit irritating to say the least. Feeling anxious, I continued feeding the animals.
Oh, I see. That's why you looked a bit upset today.
In the lobby, she had a look of understanding on her face. She talks like it's someone else's business, but it's all your fault!
Huh? It's my way of cheering you on.
So she says. With so few girls in the school, for her to explain it all in her way was excruciating. With so many guys vying for their attention, maybe she was aware that this would lead to this.
Yeah, you're pretty hot-tempered when pushed.
That's because I'm irritated. Of course it's not towards Corinne. It's not about wanting to go out with her or not, but When I say that much, I want to get back at them. That's for sure.
Actually, I'm pretty glad just to see you like this. You know, being serious about it all.
Is the way you said date just to get things rolling?
How else was I going to get you motivated? I could have just ignored it all. The most important thing is whether you will get serious about it all.
You don't have to put a fire under me to get me motivated. As I said over and over again.
It's just insurance, or you would probably just say, the hell with it and walk away.
Boy, how can I deny that? Well, anyways, I'm gonna do my best. I'm scheduled to do the time trial with that guy today.
Oh, really? Looking forward to it.
If I'm slower than him, boy, what a laugh that would be.
Don't worry, I'll make sure to laugh out loud.
The next day, the time trial started. Oh boy, I said all that yesterday. It's starting to feel like one big hassle.
What are you, daft?
Corinne was looking at me like I was nuts. I was all ready to go, but I suddenly get this jinx-type feeling in me, and it all seems a hassle.
Come on, you're here, be a man!
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah? Your horse is a starter horse like mine, right?
That's what I hear.
What? You don't know? It's your horse, right? You've ridden it many times.
She just likes to run anyway.
Why do you say that?
I guess it's just intuition.
Intuition?
I think I'll just allow him to run away today.
Really? Are you really daft?
Daft, huh? Nice. You know that famous Silent Sakuza was also a starter horse, right? The jockey thought he should just let it run away. And actually won. So you can't really disregard a jockey's so-called intuition.
But this is for your grades. Why would you make such a drastic tactic change at this very moment?
Everything is a challenge and a calculated risk. At that moment, her name was called and she prepared to start.
Don't do anything stupid and take this serious, you got it?
She put one word in for good measure and headed towards the instructor. Guess she's really worried about me. Oh boy. Is she just too straight-laced? Right? Star? She nodded and he awed in approval. As usual, Corinne makes a stylish run. The trial is 2,000 meters. As mentioned earlier, her horse is a starter horse, so on the get-go, she was very slow, but Corinne guided her expertly and put her in a good position. I knew she was a good rider, but watching her today, I was surprised by how good she actually was. In the last section, she guided her horse straight down the lane without weaving, which looks easy, but in fact, is pretty hard to do. There are many aspects that make a jockey great, but a race can, of course, depend on the horse. If a complete novice rides in a horse race, they would never win, right? That's what agents look for when finding a talented jockey. It's how handling that horse during a race is what matters. If you want to be part of a professional team, you must be assigned to a stable. And to get into a stable, you have to get the approval of the top instructor. Corinne has enough skill, and I believe that she would have no problem landing a great job. As I looked at her with envy, I watched her finish up her trial run. Wondered what time it was. She was top in the 3-horse race and finished the overall race with good form, so her time must have been pretty decent. Okay, so I'm up next. Boy, I'm getting the feeling of quitting again. If I churn out a good time, I wonder if some of the girls will dance on stage with me. Guess there won't be any costume girls on stage to greet me. Hey! Finally showed up, huh? As I approached the gate, the guy who made fun of me yesterday showed up. Okay, so what great time will the hotshot jockey give us today? As expected, the guy started to pester me with insults. Very annoying. No problem. Gonna churn out the best time for sure, mate. Because I responded condescendingly, he frowned with irritation. If you're gonna look down on someone, be prepared for the same medicine, mate. Bit too cool for a guy like me, huh, Star? Need a little whipping, Star? Just kidding, Star. Give me a good show, bud. Not really something you'd say when entering the gate, but Star seemed to acknowledge my comment and nodded in recognition. With the bang of the start pistol, the horses all took off all at once. I seemed to hear a classmate's loud shriek as we headed out of the gate. I guess it was obvious. I mean, my horse is a lowly starter horse. What's that guy's horse? From the start, I was able to lead the pack. Good job, Star. A good start. The runaway tactic was the right choice. Star seemed light on his feet. A horse's character is really only considered in games, but personally, I feel it's the horse's personality that means a lot. Star, you're always so laid back when we're practicing. When it's time to shine, you really go for it. So cool, mate! When riding a horse, there's the pressure of the person riding the horse, the conditions surrounding it, and so forth. Some horses like it, some don't. Get all that wind at once? No problem. Right, Star? Outside the track, I can feel the crowd growing wild, but I concentrated on the race.
What is he? I was watching Shiro's run from the side of the track and what I honestly thought... Darn it! Now I'm super jealous! I was pretty surprised that he used the runaway tactic, but in the horse racing world, there are not many that would take it upon themselves to make personal decisions. I don't want to be disliked, and I am more versed in jockey etiquette. But he went ahead and ran the horse, and it was the horse that was responsible for its care. On top of that, he ran the horse right on the edge. It's the first time he ran the horse on a track. There seemed to be no hesitancy, but more like confidence in the run. Guess Shiro is right in that it does better when running away. And his overall skill. No ordinary jockey. When I watch him riding and seriously participating in the race, all I can say is he's skilled and great at what he does. I watched his ride, and I felt other classmates probably felt the same way. This guy certainly deserves respect. I have to admit, he is really a hotshot jockey. Deep inside, I suppose, I started to look down on him. After all, I studied hard and figured I was much better. I really wanted him to get the motivation to run, and I felt confident he would never surpass me. Darn it! This is infuriating! I practiced and studied so hard, but he still manages to throw it all back in my face with his obvious skill and God-given talent. Really very infuriating, but he's so cool! Shiro reminds me of my father, and when I look at him, my heart seems to almost jump out of my chest. It's throbbing so hard. Have I always been such an immature little girl? The results showed that he won by 3 lengths.
So, what do you think, huh? When I get the motivation, I put out outstanding results, right? After the race, and in the cafeteria, I really chided Corinne about how right I was, and just sort of boasted to high heavens about my talent. But she was pretty laid back about it, and I felt a bit dejected, because I figured she would be elated with the final outcome. Man, he was super fast! Boy, that Shiro is one skilled rider, gotta say. I wanted her to act like the other classmates, and be really in awe of me. Hey, what's with the attitude? You're the one who urged me to take up the challenge.
To be honest, I didn't think you had that much talent. Just a bit shocked is all.
Hey, then...
I was a bit taken aback that now I had to date you. Yuck! Come on, Shiro!
You were serious about that?
Do I look like the type that would joke about something like that?
That's exactly it! You don't look like you would joke around about that, so that's what scares me.
So what? I always thought I looked pretty normal.
I have no objections to that. I mean, just to say something like that so casually.
Yeah, well, it's not that I would go out with anybody. I've known you a long time and we get along great, so I figured we would be a good match is all.
She looked away slightly and said,
I wanted to give you more motivation before and wanted to tell you that you had an immense talent. But I just couldn't bring myself. To be honest, just you were always so cool.
There's no taking back what you say once you say it, but I feel like she was really being honest about her feelings. Darn it. This is super embarrassing.
Well, I'm not saying you have to. Your feelings are more important to me.
She blushed and stood up, ready to walk away. But then, I got the courage to speak up. Hey, wait up!
Huh?
I didn't say anything about not dating you. I also like you, and I've known you for a long time. I don't dislike your looks or personality. As I tried to come up with the right words, embarrassment and anxiety welled up inside me. Bet my face is as red as a beet. I would be very happy if I could date you. Actually, it's harder to find a reason not to date her. I've grown to know her well after 2 years at this school. So, I would like to go out with...
Oh my, I didn't realize you wanted to date me so badly.
What? I'm just being honest with you, and you make fun of me? Come on!
I'm just kidding. Look forward to our dates.
She sounded a bit cheery. She looked super happy, blushing a bit. So I was kinda glad I went all out and did that race.
Just hope you take your lessons more seriously in the future.
Sure, I'll consider it. A year later, we were able to enter a debut race together, and eventually got hitched. But that's another story.